Namaskaram. In today's series, we will have a look about the Rasayana Shastram or the concept of chemistry in ancient India. In this topic of discussion, a most interesting topic to discuss will be the Mehrauli iron pillar. This iron pillar is famous for two reasons. Reason number one, this iron pillar is made up of forged welding. A forged welding is nothing but when the blocks of iron are placed on top of each other and heated to 1300 degrees centigrade approximately, it melts and forms as a single bar. In the modern day, with the availability of diesel and electricity, creating more than 850 degrees centigrade is a very challenging task. In those days, people were first aware of the melting point of iron, and second, they were able to create such a high temperature and create a forged weld iron, which is a very marvelous task. The second marvelous thing is like this iron pillar has not rusted till today. The reason for this is like when a group of very knowledgeable people like Dr. Balasubramaniam of IIT along with his colleagues from Japan, they did some non-destructive testing and they discovered that a 50 micron thickness of iron phosphate coating was provided on top of the iron pillar in those days, not after 1947. Okay, so which helped the iron pillar from rusting. So beautiful it is. Apart from this also, in India there were lots of yantras that were used, example like Dola yantram and other yantras that were used for chemical processing. Few of the yantras are given in the backdrop so that you can have it as a reference for yourself. Not only this, there were well documented books about chemistry in India. A few examples is like the Rasaratna. The Rasaratna describes about the 23 different types of tin alloys. It also describes about the colors of these tin alloys like yellow, purple, etc. Another very famous book is the Rasaratna samucchyam. The author of this book is still very debatable. Some claim that this book was very old book. Some give credit to Vagbhatta. Some give credit to Nagarjuna. Some also claim that Nagarjuna did not write this book. He only compiled this book from different authors. And when you say Nagarjuna also, we have got three Nagarjunas. Nagarjuna 1, 2 and 3. So I leave it with the viewers to arrive at a conclusion. However, one thing is very clear that these data about the chemicals and the metals were well documented in India. What does this book all describe about? These books describe about the different type of metals and chemicals available. Now it just talks about the iron, talks about the tin. When we talk about the tin is very interesting because in Rasaratna samucchyam it says Khurakam, misrakam, cheti, vangam-uchyate. Khurakam, thathra, gunai, sreshtam. It says there are two types of tin, Khurakam and misrakam, and Khurakam's quality is far better compared to others. The interesting thing is like this alpha and beta tin in modern days is an allotropic form, which exchanges their forms at a very particular low temperature. Considering India, except few places like Kashmir and hill stations in India, India is generally a very hot country. So in such a hot country, people were able to identify this allotropic forms of tin is definitely a very interesting topic. And they not only identified it, they also documented it. And they are saying that the Khurakam form of tin is very superior compared to the other form. And this book also has description about the brass. About the brass, they say Ritika Kakar Tundeti, dvividham Pittalam Bhavet. There are two types of brass, alpha and beta brass. It also goes on to say that the Ritika type of brass, when you immerse it in rice gruel, which is called kanji in Tamil, when you place it, it turns into copper color, tamarina. And well, the other one turns into which is black. How beautiful it is described, the alpha and beta brass. It is also described about how bronze has to be constructed. It says a bronze can be made by ashtabhagena tamarena. So I have 8 parts by weight of tamaram copper added to dvibhagena khurakena. So khurakena is tin. So 2 parts by weight to tin. So if you add 8 parts by weight of copper to 2 parts by weight of tin, you will get bronze. And it also describes that the bronze that is available in Saurashtra region in those days is supposed to be of very high quality. And there are also description about chemicals, other chemicals in India. Example is zinc. The concept of zinc existed in India for a very long time, more than 2000 years old. And when William Champion, he came to India, he learned this concept of zinc and introduced it in England. In England, he also got a patent for zinc. Before that, people there were not aware of the zinc. Even he himself, I believe, was unaware of the zinc because he used to call it only as Malabar lead. And like this, they are very, and there's also this books also describe about something like Anjana. Anjana is nothing but sulfides, and different type of sulfides like the copper sulfide, zinc sulfide, lead sulfide, etc. is also described here. Apart from all these metals also, these books like the Rasaratna describes about how the chemical laboratory has to be constructed. It should be very open spaced, it should be having those. It also goes on to describe about how a laboratory assistant should be there. See how beautifully now it is described here, not only about the chemistry, not only about the metals, not only about the melting point, not only about the different forms, allotropic forms, the colors, the textures, and how it will change from one form to another form, how a laboratory has to be there, how a laboratory assistant has to be there. Everything is very detailedly mentioned in these books. The main idea of this blog today is only to introduce you to this concept so that the viewers of this blog will get more interested in this topic. They themselves will do more research and come up with more interesting facts. I hope you had an opportunity to learn something new today. We will reconnect again with another interesting topic.